What's up everybody, I'm Soma, and today's video is about you guys. I picked the best questions I've been asked, and I'll break them into clear answers that you can actually use. Let's start. Number 1! And the first question for today's video is from Sendyu, and I had to talk about it because all of us are feeling that way, but nobody's actually talking about it. Sendyu said that he's slow through everything, trends, skills, news, and he's struggling to cook for himself. And they ended up saying, as always, since I'm slow one to learn every skill after everybody else does it. First of all, I really appreciate the honesty. Thank you for that. But here's what I want you to hear. Being last doesn't mean you're behind. It just means you're on your own timeline. And honestly, people who learn things slower are usually understanding them better than the ones who rush through. Cooking for yourself isn't embarrassing, it's adulting. And most people are just pretending they know how to do it. The real problem isn't that you're slow, it's that you're comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 10. And that comparison is the thing that actually slowing you down because it makes you feel like you're already losing before you even start. So here's what I want you to do. Just make one simple meal this week. Not for anybody else, just for you. That is it. No timelines, no pressure. Because progress isn't about keeping up with everybody else. It's just being a little better than you were yesterday. You're not slow, you're just getting started. And that's enough for today. That's all it takes. Number 2. The next question stopped me, and I had to think about it and handle it with care that it deserves. April shared that her parents have cut contact with her because she decided to start the transition journey. And April, I want you to know, choosing yourself, especially when it's costing you everything or something that big, is one of the hardest things a person can ever do. Losing your parents' support doesn't mean you made the wrong choice. Sometimes the people who are supposed to love us unconditionally just aren't there yet, or maybe they will never be. And that grief is real, you're allowed to feel it fully. But here's also what I want you to learn. You made a decision to live a life as yourself, authentically and honestly. And that kind of courage doesn't come from a place of weakness. That comes from someone who finally decided to live a life that belongs to them. You're not too much, you're not a mistake, and you're not alone, even if it feels like you are. I want you to surround yourself with people who choose to show up for you. Build your own family, because family isn't always blood. Sometimes it's just the people who stay. Keep going, April. Number 3! Benny left this really long and honest comment, and I could tell it took a lot to write it, so I'm gonna give it a real answer that it deserves. Benny is a university level combat sport athlete. He loves the sport. He's even coaching right now, but he doesn't want to compete anymore. The drive is gone. And the problem isn't just the sport, it's that everyone around him, especially his parents, expecting him to keep going. And he doesn't know how to tell them without making them feel like it's their fault. Benny, here's what I'm hearing. You didn't fall out of love with sport. You fell out of love with the version of yourself that was built around it. And that's actually a completely different thing. You're not a quitter. You're someone who grew. You have curiosity. You love art, writing, and trying new things. And for years, that part of you got put on hold. It makes total sense that it's pushing back now. Here's the thing about the people who love you, your parents, your coaches, their expectations come from love. But their expectations are not your responsibility to fulfill at the cost of your own happiness. You are allowed to evolve beyond the path that was built for you, even if it was built with good intentions. About telling them, you don't have to frame it as quitting, frame it as redirecting. You're still in the sport, you're coaching, you're involved. You're just choosing to stop competing. That's not failure, that's self-awareness. You already know what you want, Benny. You just need permission to want it. So here it is, you have it. Number 4! This comment is short, but it hit deep. Danny said, I know, but sometimes it's hard to make action when you fear of not knowing the outcome. And honestly, that's one of the most human things you can say. We all have that moment, you know what you should do, you even know how to do it, but you just freeze. Because what if it doesn't work out? What if you take a leap and it all goes wrong? Here's the thing though, that fear you're feeling is not a sign to stop. It's actually a sign that it matters to you. You don't fear outcomes for things you don't care about. But here's what the fear does. It tricks you into thinking that not deciding is a safe option. It's not. Staying still is still a choice. And it has consequences too. You just don't see them right away. The outcome you're afraid of? You've already been living with the other outcome, the one where you didn't try. And my guess is that that one doesn't feel great either. You don't need to know how it ends to take the first step. You just need to trust what you can handle, whatever comes. Because you've handled hard things before. You're still here, aren't you? So take the step, Danny. Not because it's guaranteed, but because you are worth the risk. Number 5! I wanted to take a moment to answer this comment because this one matters. Safik shared that this past year was the worst of their life. Family has turned against them, losing most of their friends, and on top of that, they're dealing with depression and suicidal thoughts. First of all, thank you for saying that out loud. I know how hard it could be to admit it. Even anonymously in the comment section, that took courage. I want you to hear this clearly. You're not broken, you're someone carrying an incredibly heavy load, and you have been carrying it mostly alone. That would bring anyone to their knees. Losing your people, your family, your friends, that's not just sad. That's grief, really. And depression on top of that? That's not weakness. That's a human being who has been through a lot. and needs real support. And that's exactly what I'm asking you. Please don't face this alone. Talk to somebody, a therapist, a counselor, maybe a crisis line, whatever it feels acceptable to you right now. And if you're in the US right now, you can always text or call a 988 number. It's a suicidal crisis line and it's free. You reached out here, which tells me a part of you is still fighting. I want you to hold on into that part. This year might have been the worst, but it doesn't get to the whole story. You still have a few pages left, you can always change it. That was it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys. Your questions are what shape these videos, so keep them coming. Subscribe if you want more real, straight answers. See you soon.